day, everybody. Welcome to Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. Good Sunday to you. I'm Barber Dave. We're going to do kind of an impromptu review. I'm not sure if I've done these before. I think I may have shaved with them on video, but I don't think that I've reviewed them. The first thing we're going to review, since I've had this for a few months now, and I feel that we can give a good comprehensive review of this, is the Blackland Tradere razor. Now, I did a full written review over on theshavingcadre.com in the DE section and in the written review section. So if you want to check out the written review, you can. But this is a remake of a classic razor that there was only a couple thousand made, and we'll go into that as well. It is an open comb version of the Tradari. And then as far as the soap is concerned, we're going to actually, as far as I know, this is an unobtainium. I haven't been able to find it recently. I've had some, is the Asylum ShaveWorks Royall Fougere. So it's kind of a Fougere day. This is from Phil at Bull Goose Shaving. However, the soap itself is made by Wet Shaving Products out of Phoenix, Arizona. So he hired them to make it. But it's a nice blend of probably the two of the most recognizable Fougere scents and the most popular, one being Penhaligon's English Fern and the other being Trumper's Wild Fern. There are a ton of Fougere scents out there, but those are probably the two most known. I know Sampo Ficcio Veracino has Felsia Aromatica, and there's a bunch of others. But those two are the ones that are most sought after, and unfortunately, those are both unobtainium on the primary market. Now you can still find them on the second market, so we'll be reviewing that. The rest of the cast of characters today, I do have one new one that I have not tried yet. I received a sample of Royall Rugby, which is another Fougere. It's Royall's take on a Fougere. I've got all the other, most of the other Royall products, so they're very fantastic. The aftershave we'll be using is the Asylum ShaveWorks Royall Fougere. Again, Wild Fern and Penhaligon's had a baby. This is what happened. And then as far as the brush is concerned, we're going to be back to our Morris&Forndran Apolina with a Sabini Super Badger knot in it. The razor, the blade that's in here is a PolSilver SI, brand new. So hope everybody's getting all set for Christmas as best you can. It's fastly approaching, and like everybody else, I'm probably not even close to being prepared for it. The only knock that I would say on this soap, or actually any of the soaps from WSP, is the size of the tin. If you have a brush that has a outside diameter larger than the container, it can be a little bit of a pain to do that, but it's not bad. I mean, it's a tremendous soap. So we've got that loaded. Put a little bit of that excess on our face. Now the Tradari razor, you know, most people say, okay, it's an open comb razor. What's the big deal? Well, the Tradari was a razor that was built in the early 2000s, and there wasn't a lot of, it was one of the first, along with Weber, to go the stainless steel route. And it's just a fantastic razor overall, very heavy. The balance point on it is very close to the head, but it's got a closed head on it. So it's, you know, when you look at it, the knurling and everything else, it's a heavy razor. I mean, it publishes, I think, at 119 grams, but I would venture to say it's much more. And the balance point is just about there where you can hold it with 3 fingers. But when you're doing your cross the grain and with the grain passes, you can actually go down and just let this razor do its work. So it's really, really nice as far as the shave itself. As far as aggressiveness is concerned, as most of you know, I'm a straight razor shaver for the most part. So aggressiveness is something I probably take a little bit more for granted than most, as do most straight razor shavers. But if I was to put this in a category, because the published aggressiveness for the Tradari open comb is a 7 out of 10, where the safety bar version is a 5.5 out of 10. I would call this a 6. And the reason why I call it a 6 is I'm comparing it with the low end being a Gillette Tech or a Feather ASD2, and the high end being an actual full hollow straight razor. So I would put it at about a 6. Believe it or not, I find that the Blackland Blackbird DE closed comb is more aggressive than the Tradari, in my opinion. The Royall Fougere is a, like I said, a mixture or the inspiration of Trumper's Wild Fern and Penhaligon's English Fern. It will take on a ton of water. Very smooth, very nice, but it's a little sharper than English Fern. English Fern has almost a creaminess to it, where this has got really a sharp green fern flavor to it. But it matches well with pretty much any fougere that you decide on. Okay, let's see how we do here. And this is a brand new blade. Now, as far as the angle is concerned, like I said, I hold the razor pretty much as light as possible and let the razor do the work. And it's just tremendous. Very light touch, because this, even though it's what I would consider a 6 on the aggressive side, if you get heavy-handed with this, she'll open you up. That's why, you know, a lot of people that have had this razor or have shaved with this razor feel that it's not efficient, that it's too heavy and gives a bad shave. Well, I think you just need to get to know it. I really think you just need to get to know the razor. And once you do, you'll find that you let the razor do the work, because it's that heavy. And you can just literally let it fall down your face. If I was to make a straight razor comparison as far as usage, I would say that the Tradari is very similar, not in aggression or in usage as far as traditional usage, but as far as the way it feels on the face, it feels a lot like a Wade Butcher 8/8 for barber use. It's that heavy. I mean, you can feel the weight in it. But like I said, once you get to know this razor, it provides just a tremendous shave for an open comb. And for years, my Gillette New long comb and my 15 Aristocrat were absolutely my favorite open comb razors. But this is by far taken that spot. The 15 Crat's a little bit more aggressive, but this gives a smoother shave, in my opinion. And especially even with a brand new blade, it's very, very, very smooth all over. The one thing when doing, now this is my across the grain, not my against the grain pass, just the way my face is mapped. You can literally hold it near the fluted end and literally just drag it up, because it balances so perfect on that upward swing. And just makes it a joy to use. And so once again, Blackland knocks it out of the park. I do not have all the Blackland razors yet. And I say yet. I still don't have the Dart, and I don't have the Saber, which is, I guess, a gem style. But if it's like the Vector and like this and like the Blackbird, they take a very top spot in all those categories. With the Vector, in my opinion, being the overall best non-straight razor in existence. In my opinion. And back to the soap. The soap is very slick, typical of WSP. I mean, WSP is a good soap, regardless. But if you are an English Fern lover or a Trumper's Wild Fern lover, and you can find the Royall Fougere, do so. It's incredible. And when matched with the Tradari, makes for a very enjoyable, perfect Sunday shave. Those of you that are members of the ShavingCadre.com, and we hope that some of you that are watching this channel will become members of the ShavingCadre.com. We are kind of known for our member videos and also known for our Zoom calls, with the pandemic being as it is. Please look out for a Christmas Day family Zoom call that we may be having, because obviously a lot of people aren't going to be spending Christmas with family, and it's kind of our way of saying, hey, spend it with us. And you can find that in the general section of the ShavingCadre.com. So this is actually my against the grain pass. And again, just move your fingers down a little bit. Like for the with the grain pass, right there is about your best. So you can just basically use these. You don't even, 2 fingers is all you need, but these ones just, you know, kind of balance it in place. And then for the across the grain pass, or for most people is against the grain pass, you can just literally 2 fingers down here and you get that. You can kind of see that weight, and then just move it up into the middle for your across the grain, or in my case, my against the grain pass. Just a tremendously smooth razor. And I am a fanboy of Blackland. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But this razor holds a lot of memories for me, because years ago, back on Badger and Blade, during the Sue Moore auction, one of these was made available that was an original. And they actually had a pass around prior to the auction to try it out, and I did, and it was, and at that time I only had the only stainless steel razor I had was a Weber PH Classic, and that was like the razor. And then I tried this, and it was amazing. Now during the bidding process, I missed out on this, and I figured that was it. You know, you're never going to see another one of these again. However, as it turns out, Blackland received kind of the blessing of the original maker to reverse engineer and make this razor exact. And having shaved with both of them, I can tell you it is. In fact, I would say this may be just a tad bit better, because the tolerances, I think, are just a tad bit tighter because of Blackland's manufacturing process. So not a lot of cleanup needed. And I think some of that might be the blade, because I had been running Nassets in this without any problem whatsoever. And again, it being a DE, it doesn't quite have the complete cleanup that a straight does. The only knock that I would say that I would give the Tradari is with the fact that it does have a complete closed system. You do need to take the razor apart to clean it each time, to not get a bunch of soap scum in there. Now, as I said in my review, my real test of a razor is how the Alum or the Aftershave give feedback. And I would say that based on a normal DE, it gives about the same feedback as a light, you know, a good shave with a straight. Not a lot, you know, a little bit, you know. And plus, that's a new blade, and I always get a little bit more feedback from a new blade than I do from a blade that's been broken in. But definitely DSBBS, for those that don't know what that is, that's dolphin skin, baby butt smooth. Now, the nice thing about the Fougeres, whether it be English Fern, Wild Fern, Brute, I guess to a lesser extent, or any of the other wonderful Fougeres, is you can use English Fern powder, which to me is the favorite. So once again, aftershave, we're going to be using the Royall Fougere. And like I said, a sharper, when I compare the two between English Fern and Royall Fougere, the difference is pretty apparent. As I said earlier, the English Fern is much more of a creamy, lighter, and I don't want to say lighter as far as strength, but just lighter as far as freshness. More breezy, if that makes a sense, where this is pretty much a fern in your face. I mean, like if you were out in the forest and you tripped and you fell into a big fern bush, this would be it. But it has all the components of the Penhaligons, which makes it, you know, darn near perfect as far as that goes. And then, you know, the sharpness, if it's too sharp, you can always tone it down a little bit with the English Fern talcum powder. And so you get kind of the best of all worlds, in my opinion. One of my favorite shaves. Now that I smell it, I would say, rather than lighter, I would say it's sweeter. The Penhaligons is a little bit of a sweeter scent. Still having all the wonders of Fern, but it's just sweet. But the comparison, or the combination of the two together, are just really nice. It's too bad that you don't see this very often, the Royall Fougere, anymore, because it was, I don't know how popular it was, but it's just tremendous. And then for our EDT, we're going to use the Royall Rugby. I have not used this before. In fact, I haven't even smelled it yet. But being the fact that it's a Royall product, I'm sure it's as good as all the others. And I'm sure it will be a purchase. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a little sharp too. But like I said, all three together, they all play really, really well. So again, if you're in the market for a open comb razor and you don't mind the investment, because the investment is high. I mean, this razor is $265, so it's, you know, something that you'll have to decide. Will it give as good a better shave than a new long comb that you can get for $10? No, that's all subjective. But the fit and finish of this razor is just tremendous. All closed, so you don't have to worry about anything, and it's easy to clean, easy to hold, shines real well. And then, of course, the soap, if you can get some, the Asylum Royall Fougere. So I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. We certainly hope that you've enjoyed it, and we hope you have a blessed Sunday, and we'll see you again real soon. Don't forget, www.theshavingcadre.com. And for those that I may not see again for a while, happiest of holidays to you and your families. Take care.